The United States government has shut down, not because Washington couldn't agree, because Democrats refused to negotiate. They're holding the entire federal government hostage to protect the freeloader class. They say the Grand Canyon will be closed. Really? You need the federal government to keep a hole in the ground open? Federal employees aren't starving. Their pay is guaranteed by law. This isn't about keeping the government open. It's about keeping the gravy train running. The media say Republicans and Democrats failed to agree on a budget. That's the headline. But the real story is simpler. House Republicans passed a short-term funding bill, a clean, continuing resolution, and the Senate blocked it. Why? Because Democrats are demanding that temporary COVID-era health insurance subsidies be made permanent, and the scammers who were cut from Medicaid be restored. Not foreign policy, not the military, not important issues, not the border. One issue: taxpayer-funded health benefits for people who don't pay for insurance. Democrats have decided if they can't keep subsidizing freeloaders, nobody gets a functioning government. Now, the subsidies, those were created during COVID as a temporary emergency measure. They were supposed to expire. No one is cutting them. They're just ending as scheduled. But Democrats treat every temporary increase as if it's permanent, and when it expires, they call it a cut. Meanwhile, health insurance premiums are high because the insured are forced to cover the uninsured. Hospitals charge two rates, one for those without insurance, and a higher one to cover those who don't pay. And insurers pass that cost on to you. And so instead of fixing that system, Democrats want to double down, take your tax dollars and hand them to people who opted out. That's not compassion, that's institutionalized freeloading. America is unique. In Europe, so-called free healthcare comes with massive taxes, and everyone pays in. But in the U.S., about half the population pays no income tax at all. So forget that tax the billionaires stuff. The billionaires are paying most of the taxes. And that's the very tax that funds Medicaid. Next, 1/3 of Americans are on Medicaid, yet they pay nothing toward it. No other country has a freeloader class this big. And Democrats depend on it politically. These are the voters that Kamala Harris, AOC, and Chuck Schumer need. The people who get something for nothing and reliably vote for the party that keeps the gravy train running. And don't forget illegal immigrants. In many states, they get free health care too, and yes, you're footing the bill. Now, since Republicans control both houses of Congress, why don't they just pass the budget on their own? One word: the filibuster. The Senate requires 60 votes to break a filibuster, and Democrats are using the filibuster to block the budget. And these are the same Democrats who once called the filibuster racist and anti-democratic. But they kept it when they could have got rid of it because they thought it would help them later, and it's later. About 750,000 federal employees are furloughed, so let's cue the sob stories of the bureaucrats lining up at the food bank. But here's what they won't tell you. Their income is guaranteed by law. After the 2018 shutdown, Congress passed legislation ensuring back pay. And many collect unemployment too. So for anyone who's just budgeted wisely, this is basically a paid vacation. Meanwhile, private sector workers who lost their jobs during the Democrat COVID shutdowns had no such safety net. Federal employees have one of the cushiest deals in the country, and the media's playing violins for them. And while they're counting the days of the shutdown, it's day 2, day 3, the main countdown is missing the countdown to payday, because no one has missed a payday yet. Everyone has been paid to date. Government employees work by the month or by the 2 weeks, and they get paid at the end of a pay period, just like everybody else. The earliest possible date that a payday might be missed would be October the 10th. But no one's telling you that. So all the workers who have been sent home are basically on a paid vacation, at least for now. In every shutdown we hear it, the Grand Canyon will be closed. You need the federal government to keep a hole in the ground open. The canyon existed long before the Park Service. It doesn't vanish when Washington takes a break. It actually takes government action to close it, not to open it. Democrats are terrified this shutdown will lead to permanent cuts in the federal workforce. Why? Because those workers are overwhelmingly Democratic voters, often unionized and part of the political machine. Shutdowns expose how many jobs are non-essential, and that's politically dangerous for them. The Democrats want to blame the furloughs on the Republicans, but those workers know they're really being sacrificed to protect the freeloader class. And here's the part the media skips. Taxes are still coming in, spending is paused, so Washington is, for once, forced to live within its means. Instead of panicking, maybe we should be asking why this doesn't happen more often. Because less government is better government. And if Democrats want to hold the country hostage to keep subsidies flowing to freeloaders, that tells you everything you need to know. This shutdown isn't a failure to agree. It's a deliberate tactic by Democrats to protect the people who don't pay but always receive. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and share this video with a friend who's sick of the spin. The 10th Man, breaking the echo chamber.